Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to say hi to you and being here today. This video is with the purpose of explaining the questionnaires in second language research. We're going to talk about a little bit of the construction and an introduction to the administration part. The topic that I'm going to expose to you today is writing sensitive items. From the book, as I mentioned, Questionnaires in Second Language Research. Okay, to start with, and as we have seen in previous sections, it was shown that writing affecting questionnaire item requires a special attention to detail more these items when writing these sensitive items. Okay, that's like an introduction of the topic. We have two ways of doing it, or the way we can do like our questionnaires and introduction to this. Many times we can include our personal information and the potential treat. And our personal information, something clue that you always need to have in mind is usually considered private. It's something private of you or the person that is doing the questionnaire. And an advice that I found really important in the book to mention is that the fewer the better. So just include the necessary of your information will be always the better. For the potential treat, we have questions about illegal activities or asking students to evaluate their language teachers. That includes like the potential treat. We also have the grouping and sequencing items, which includes being clear and ordinarily structure. Um, what does this mean? Well, we have the grouping, the sequence items, being clear, being ordered, will have a good order or structure. This means, or it might include well-structured questions and writing. In this way, the questionnaires will be clear and understandable for the rest or to the persons that you're going to apply your questionnaires. This part of writing and doing our questionnaires for the persons or for our researchers, it's always a clue, or in other words, you always have to need a clear like objective of what you are going to ask. You need to have everything well structured in order for you to have like a better panorama of your questions and the way that you're going to do them. And on the other hand, we have the persons that you're going to apply those questionnaires. If they're not well structured, if they're not clear, if they're not in order, or they don't have like a good grammar as well, they're not going to be understandable for the rest of the persons or the persons that you're going to apply those questionnaires. So this part is like very important for us to have in mind, and for you also, guys, because in this way we are getting to the point of our research, because we're like doing questions with a specific purpose. And based on this, we have the open and the closed questions, but we're going to focus on the open questions and open-ended questions. What does this mean? Well, first of all, this type of questions require time that or require work. We can put some people off, and others might get bogged. So we need to be sure how we're going to structure and where we're going to put those questions. As we mentioned, is the open questions and the open-ended questions. These questions are not like, they're not specific because we can have like many answers with these open questions, but we can have like a clear idea of what we're going to ask. So that's why we have to have a good instruction, a good structure, a sequence, and how we are going to group those type of questions. Okay, guys. Next, we have, or we might have questions. For example, us as English teachers or as students that are in this BA, yes, we well, our language that we commonly use is English. So if we are going to apply a questionnaire or a survey in English, we might need to include the translation of the questions. So to do this, we have to be very clear and specific of what we are going to ask. In this case, we can translate them to Spanish. So we need to have that in mind, that many times when we are doing this, we need to be clear, specific, have a good translation of the question so it does not change like the purpose of the question or the message of the questions, so that the question can be as more possible understandable for the persons that are going to answer the questions. So that's why the translation part, or yes, the translation part here, it plays like an important role, because in this way it will help us to get to a specific answer, to a specific purpose, and to the main idea of what we are asking. Now that we already saw the ways we can do the questionnaires, how we can do them, and if we have like other ones that we might, well, not other ones, but other languages that we might include. Now the reading mentions, or the book mentions some computer programs, for constructing questionnaires. Some of them that the reading mentioned are two, is research software, central database, and Sphinx survey. Right here, I have them right here. This list, guys, I'm going to upload them so that you can have them. Right here, this one is the one that mentions the reading as well, this one, but I like search for another ones, and I have them right here that I'm going to show you. Let me, for example, right here we have, let me see, right there, I think you can see them. HubSpot, we have Servant Any Place, More Opinion, Nicer, Nice Replay, Survey Lab. Well, the most that we're familiar with is with Google Forms. Right here with Google Forms, and over here we also have these ones that are Typeform. We also have Freeder, this one. I'm also going to share this link, guys, so that you can have them, and if you want to like index more. HubSpot that we saw on the other page. Survey Monkey, I think you're also like familiar with this one, Survey Monkey. Crowd Signal. We also have Qualitrix. We also have Get Feedback, Question Pro, Google Forms that we are familiar with, Pulse Insight, Cervicate, Ask Nicely, responster. So you see, guys, we have like many programs here that we can, in which ones we can base or do our questionnaires in order to have them well instructed, to have them in order, to have them clear, to be understandable. All these points are clue and are keywords to have in mind at the moment of us doing a questionnaire or survey that we're going to apply later on. Okay, and now to introduce, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to like introduce to the main types of questionnaire administration. One that I recall that the video mentioned is like by mail, and there's also by phone, well, like yeah, phone, or letter, sending letters. I mean, well, it's the same like by mail or email. It depends. But as I mentioned you furthermore, we will be seeing the types of or the ways we can do these surveys or questionnaires. Not the ways we can apply those surveys or questionnaires that we are going to do. Guys, this is like very important for us to have in mind, because with this we will be like able to do our research project, because we have like the base of how we can do surveys, how we can do questionnaires, and how we can apply those questionnaires to the persons or to which persons we're going to apply them. So this is very important. And to conclude with this exposition or with this presentation, I just want to say to you guys that doing surveys, questionnaires is very important, because as I mentioned, is something that we're going to use for our project research at the final of our BA. So having like these guidelines, we can say, or this information will help us to have like a better idea or better panorama, yes, of how we're going to do things and how we're going to apply them, to which persons we're going to apply them, having that order, having that sequence, having that structure, having a good grammar, spelling as well, or and if we need to translate them. So all this is very important, guys, because with this information we will be able to do, well, as I mentioned, our research project at the end of the career. It will also help us for our thesis, if we're going to do a thesis, or for everything else, guys. But yes, having like this in mind and considering like the aspects of the questionnaires in second language research, the construction, the administration, and the rest of you are going to talk about also like in the process of it. It's like a guide, and we have that guidance already to construct a good questionnaire. So thank you, guys. That will be all for my part. As I mentioned, I will be uploading the links, the notes that I made, so that you can have them, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this information was clear for you. Thank you.